The decision by French President Emmanuel Macron to move toward recognizing the state of Palestine marks a significant turning point. But this shift has been anything but swift. Initially, Macron stood firmly behind Israel, offering unwavering support. However, as the conflict in Gaza escalated, his stance gradually evolved toward endorsing a two-state solution. This evolving position culminates in a historic and symbolic act. France's anticipated official recognition of Palestine at the United Nations on September 22nd. But here's where it gets controversial. Will this recognition be seen as a betrayal by many in the French Jewish community, or as a necessary step toward peace? During a pivotal meeting at the Élysée Palace on September 11th, Macron demonstrated a clear resolve, as if he had finally cast aside his previous hesitations and was determined not to back down. Around the table in the ambassador's salon sat about 20 influential figures, spanning philosophy, literature, and the business world. Notable attendees included Alain Finkielkraut, a frequent commentator on France culture and the CNews channel, Bernard-Henri Lévy, known as BHL, a vocal supporter of Ukraine, historian Mark Knoble, writer Valerie Zanatti, and successful screenwriter Danielle Thompson. Business leaders like Maurice Levy, CEO of Publicis, and Denis Olivenez, former director of Lagardère, also joined, creating an eclectic mix of arts and economic powerhouses. The meeting mainly focused on an urgent issue, the resurgence of anti-Semitism in France, which painfully stirs some of the country's darkest historical memories. While the atmosphere was one of concern and reflection, Macron also used this gathering to probe the views of his guests, trying to understand their perspectives amid the growing tensions. Fast forward to a dozen days later, on September 22nd at the United Nations in New York, Macron plans to announce France's formal recognition of Palestine. This bold move, first revealed back in July, has already sparked sharp criticism from Israel and disappointment from the United States. The announcement raises a burning question. Will French Jews perceive Macron's decision as a betrayal, especially so soon after the tragic Hamas attack in Israel on October 7th, 2023? Bernard-Henri Lévy doesn't mince words, telling Macron this is not the right moment. His argument aligns closely with those of the Israeli government and the Council of Representatives of Jewish Institutions in France, CRIF, who caution that recognizing Palestine now could amount to rewarding a terrorist organization. This debate exposes the complexity and sensitivity surrounding Macron's approach. On one hand, it signals France's renewed commitment to a balanced peace process based on the two-state solution. On the other, it risks alienating key communities and allies due to the perceived timing and implications of the recognition. What remains unclear, and what fuels the controversy, is whether this diplomatic shift will foster greater dialogue and reconciliation, or if it might deepen divisions both within France and internationally. Is Macron's slow, measured adjustment of policy the prudent path toward peace, or a dangerous gamble with unintended consequences? We invite you to share your thoughts. Do you believe recognizing Palestine at this moment is a courageous step forward or a misstep risking further conflict? How should leaders balance moral support, strategic interests, and the voices of diverse communities in such a fraught geopolitical situation? Your views are crucial in unpacking this complex issue.